Today on Pots and Trowels we're going to start cutting down some of the herbaceous perennials, and that's brought to you with the support of Cobra Garden and Allett. Hello, welcome to Pots and Trowels. Well, we're back in Malcolm's garden. Last week I was doing a bit of rose pruning, and we were here also a couple of months ago when we were looking at late summer, early autumn colour, when this border was just a blaze of colour with helianthemums, helianthus, echinacea, asters, absolutely full of flower. But as you can see, it's all finished now. It's been frosted, it's all starting to get ready to die down. These are all herbaceous and die down to the root in the winter and then spring back to life again in the spring. Now, there's always a bit of two thoughts of when do we prune back herbaceous borders. Some people like to get it all done in the autumn, clear the border. Some people wait till spring. I'm a bit in between really. Some things I'm going to cut back, but others, like these down here, I will probably leave for a while because there's still some colour and interest with these sedums. This is probably the old sedum autumn joy on there. And I think even when these flowers die and dry through the winter, they still add some structure to the garden. And likewise, we've got just here, we've got these phlomis. This is Russelliana, which has yellow whorls of flowers in the summer, but they dry almost like a paper flower at this time of the year. And I think they again look quite architectural through the winter months there. And the great thing is, by leaving some of this foliage and old stems, we're also leaving hiding places for insects and pollinators and beneficial insects to give them somewhere to hide over winter. So it's that balance. But with these, I am going to start doing some cutting down. Now, two ways you can do it, really simple. We can use a pair of shears, a good strong pair of shears, or we can use secateurs. Now, when it's this type of stem, I tend to use shears because we can cut them down really easily. And what we need to do is to cut them down quite close to ground level. So it's just a case of getting in there with our shears and just chopping them off like that. So it really is quite a simple job, just a case of going through the clump, pulling them out and chopping them all down. So in no time at all you can get through the border. Now if you get anything that's a little bit stiff, then obviously if you can't do it with the shears, secateurs are fine, but it just takes a little bit longer to go in and chop them all down, but you can soon get a bit of speed on and do it that way. So really good to do that. And what that will often do, and Malcolm's already started something just here, and I'm just going to chop these just a little bit lower to show you, take these dead bits off. This is a phlox that I think Malcolm has already cut down when it finished flowering, so we can get rid of all that. But you can see there in the base we've already got the start of new growth there. So these dead stems can be cut right the way down to that new growth, just brush them out the way, and we can see there we've got these nice little shoots that will just sit there over the winter months, and then come spring they'll start into growth, produce lovely tall flowering plants. So I'm just going to carry on chopping some of this down, and then I'll show you what to do with it when you've cut it down. There we go, all gathered up, nice long stems that we can now do something with. Now of course we could chop that up in lots of small pieces with shears and secateurs and put it on the compost heap, but it's going to be quite a long job, and some of these are fairly tough stems, but we don't want to waste them. So what we're going to do is pass them through a shredder. That will chop them into really small pieces, and then they go in the compost heap. And if they're mixed with autumn leaves that are coming off the trees thick and fast, grass cuttings, that will really heat up and start to decompose very quickly. So got the shredder here. It's just a case of gathering some of the stems together and passing them through. There you go, makes faster work of it, that does. And then inside here we have got, instead of long stems, we've got nicely chopped up stems like that, and as I say, mixed with autumn leaves and grass cuttings, they will rot down very quickly, and we can use that as garden compost next year. And then just finally, just to finish off, it's a good idea if you've been walking on the bed, trampling it a little bit, it's just a good idea just to go through with a fork, and I just like to loosen the saw to take out any footprints. It partly buries any little bits of stalk that you've left. If you find the odd weed, they can come out, and it just loosens that soil a little bit, so when it rains then the moisture can get down to it, and then we can leave it like that over winter. You could, if you want, if you've got some garden compost now, mulch it, or wait until the spring when everything starts to grow. Just go through, give it a final weed through. Anything that you might want to lift and divide, you can do that in the spring, and then you can mulch the bed, and that will be it then, ready for next spring. It will grow away, and look forward to those beautiful herbaceous perennials next summer. So I think I've probably got to do a bit more now for Malcolm, because there's quite a lot more to cut down. Well, thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and thank you for all your likes and shares. Please do keep telling all your friends about it. Next week we're going to have a catch up in the veg plot. I'm going to start doing some preparations for next year. See you then. Bye.